Welcome back to another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. I'm Santiago C. Carrata, President and CEO of Visit Tampa Bay. We're diving into a special episode in honor of Disability Pride Month. Tampa Bay is celebrated as one of the most accessible destinations in the United States. Our community is dedicated to inclusivity, offering a wide range of accessible resources to ensure everyone can enjoy their stay. As a former educator and principal in South Florida, I work directly with students and families who required additional assistance to reach their fullest potential. At Visit Tampa Bay, we continue to pursue and highlight these efforts. We have teamed up with fantastic organizations like Wheel the World, Adventures by Jamie, Enchroma, Ablevu, and Travelability to ensure that our visitors feel welcome and seen. Today, we're joined by Visit Tampa Bay partners and community members to discuss all the accessible options around Tampa Bay and how you can support Disability Pride Month. Take it away, Serena.
Thank you so much, Santiago. I'm Serena Fazan, and thank you for watching Unlocking Tampa Bay. As we celebrate Disability Pride Month, it is such an honor to be recognized as an industry leader in accessible travel. But we can't do that without our team and our amazing partners like Wheel the World. It gives me great honor and pleasure to welcome Yoel Waisberg, a driving force behind the organization. Thank you so much for being here.
We're a big team.
Oh, look, such a class act. You bring in the team. And you came in all the way from Miami today to be on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, this is a great partnership between us. Tell us about Wheel the World.
So Wheel the World, in a nutshell, it's the Expedia.com, but specifically designed for people with accessibility needs, any disabilities, seniors. We started as it's a very interesting story.
Yes.
But Alvaro, he's the CEO and one of the co-founders of the company, and one of very good friends since we were very young, had a car accident when he was 18 years old and became a quadriplegic. And then years later, to make a very long story short, his idea was to become fully independent, and he was able to do it. He was living in Chile at that time. Went to do his MBA at Berkeley, California. And then after a few years, there was this trip that the group of friends decided to do to the south of Chile, to Patagonia. And Alvaro was like, "No, I don't want to ruin the trip. What am I going to do there?"
Oh, bless his heart.
Yeah, and the people that were there at that point, Camilo, the other co-founder, was like, "No, we need to go. For sure, we can do this." And they started doing all this research. How we can get equipment, how we can train tour operators, how you can go to Patagonia. And it was nearly impossible, right? So they pushed to do this expedition. Many people went into it. And they decided to film a documentary out of this. They got some money, a sponsor for the equipment they found in France. And the idea was to have the expedition, leave the special hiking wheelchair in Patagonia, train those tour operators, and then kind of have other people repeat the experience. They opened at that time, I wasn't part of the company, they opened an Instagram account, and that documentary became viral.
I know, it gives me goosebumps.
All over the world.
Like people just were so taken by it.
Right. And then it was like, they started getting thousands of emails saying, I have a disability. I really want to travel. I have no idea how. The information is not online. It's not reliable. How do I know this is accessible? So they started organizing these trips, to Patagonia. And then why don't we, do Machu Picchu maybe? Maybe why don't we do Easter Island? And then like that, it started to grow until the team started to grow. And we started getting emails and questions from travelers, what if I don't want to have this super adventure experience and I just don't know how to go to, a random city in the US and have a nice accessible experience in a restaurant or an accommodation, or how do I do it? So that's where we started saying, how do we build this? Is it going to be a startup, a tech company? How we're going to do it? How we're really going to provide the information, all those details. And today we're a 50 people company We offer more than 200 destinations in 50 countries.
That's fantastic. You know, no pun intended, right? But the wheels started churning on how we can do this at every single scale at some of these amazing, extraordinary trips. But to go on vacation is a wonderful thing to do. And you want to make sure that everybody can enjoy themselves.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing is first, like travel, it's like nurtures the soul.
Yes.
Right? You travel, it opens your mind. You see experiences. I'm from Chile. I feel the moment I start traveling the world, it opens your mind. You grow up, you change, you transform, all of these things. And then you have this group of people with these challenges, and they have the same desires, same wants. And the world, of course, it's like a complicated place. And then we said, maybe with equipment, with the right training, with tech, we can actually allow people to really have these spiritual experiences. And then we saw eventually, people having a family member, a kid with a disability, and they were going. Suddenly, we arranged trips to, for example, Costa Rica or Mexico, and you go to the caves, and these people that never thought they would leave their house, they're swimming with sharks.
Oh.
They're in the caves. They are bungee jumping. They're doing whatever they want to do. We, allow that to happen.
And that's priceless to see.
I mean, they send us pictures like, you guys changed all of our lives. We never thought we could do something like this. I mean, a guy emailed us one time from Mexico, and he said, for me to being able to organize this trip, it would have taken me 8 months,
Amazing.
And we offer, places to stay, things to do, experiences, group tours, multi-day trips, the whole thing in a website, just like Airbnb or Booking.com. You pick your dates. As a tech company, and then we can go into that. We are basically the technological aspect of this. We are digitizing the data of the travel industry, and we are digitizing all the data of those travelers. So somebody will go into our website and will state all of their,
whatever
needs,
they need.
Whatever they need. These are my needs when traveling. And then because we were doing that, going to hotels, to properties, to restaurants, and gathering the data, those pictures, then we create an accessibility match. So if somebody is in a power wheelchair and needs to go for business to New York, I'm not going to show you, the 1,000 hotels that are in New York. Probably you want the one with the size of the bathroom that you need in order to be able to, shower, right? So I will do a match between, the turning radius of your wheelchair with the size of the bathroom in these hotels in New York.
So you carefully take a look, and you carefully, basically, it's like digitizing, as you said.
The process that we're doing with Tampa, with many other cities in the U.S., it's insane. I mean, we send trained mappers to each property with a measuring tape, with an app that we developed, and then take this picture and that measurement and this thing. And then when they go into a website, they can actually see in detail if this place will be accessible for my disability, because you have usually at that time the solutions we're having the problem of the one size fits all, meaning we are accessible or we are ADA compliant. That doesn't mean anything, if the ADA compliancy, or I don't know how you say it, doesn't regulate bed height, and somebody in a power wheelchair may need a higher bed. Or a senior may need a higher bed, and somebody in a manual wheelchair will need a lower bed.
So you really cater. You really cater to all different needs.
Right? I show you exactly what you have, right? And the idea is that then you go to hotels and say with big data and say, listen, you have all these accessible rooms, but in average you have more higher beds, and probably you need to switch the average a little bit and get lower beds. And then we start actually also giving insights to those partners how they can improve and cater better.
So speaking of partnerships, we're very proud to be a partner with Wheel the World. How did that come to fruition, and what does that mean?
Yes.
And what does that mean to partner?
So we started by any marketplace, going to hotels and going to partners are like, hey, do you offer accessible experiences? So we know you have accessible rooms. Do you want to be part of our platform, and we can offer you, and charge a commission like any marketplace, like Airbnb or Expedia or any of those OTAs. And then we started to build the technology, right? We are a venture-backed company, so we had funding, and we started developing, what would be the best way to do this. And then somebody that was in the industry, I mean, in travel, in accessible travel for more than 35 years, great guy. He, we met with him and he said, I feel you are the future of this. I just kind of reached my peak in doing this. And now you're young, you have the energy, you have the technology. And he started connecting us with many of his network in the United States. Remember that we are from Chile.
Right.
We're from the end of the world, right? And now, we are, most of the lead team is here in the US. And this guy connected us with some of the DMOs, right? These destination marketing organizations, because they were starting to look into how we can attract this traveler. This market is a huge market. It's a $120 billion market in the US.
Wow. Will you repeat that number?
120 billion.
120 billion.
Right. So it's 1/3 of the world's population has a disability.
Wow.
1/3 of the world's population is directly related to somebody with a disability. And this group, when they travel with friends, so with a companion, right? And all of us have somebody that has some degree of a disability. And this person connected us with these cities because they wanted to understand how accessible their destinations were. Because again, it's not only, it's for seniors, it's for, mom with strollers, it's universal design. It's not only, somebody in a wheelchair. It's the first thing that comes to mind. Is for everybody, like how my city can be fully accessible. And for that, I need to assess where am I? Then I need to have a culture and education and have the partners get trained and learned. And then, make some changes and adjustment. And the idea was like, get your destination ready. We know with all destinations, we know you don't know how to market to this group of people. You don't know how, you don't have your centralized your information about where is your destination at. You're lacking training for your partners in the city. And then you also don't have a booking solution. If people say, oh, Tampa is very accessible. Where do I find this accessibility and how can I book it? I heard there's some. Okay, so what do I do now?
And now, thankfully, thanks to the partnership,
right,
we do have that.
Right now,
and humbly speaking, I've always felt that Tampa. I've lived here now for 25 years. I feel like we move into the direction we pride ourselves on being accessible and inclusive. It's the first in Florida, right? This partnership with you guys.
We started with you guys. Tampa, Palm Beach, and Fort Lauderdale were the first ones to jump in. And then that caught the attention of Visit Florida. And then Visit Florida opened a co-op program saying that if they wanted to do this, they will chip in with other, destination organizations in Florida. And today we're working with 13.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And that opened the door for Travel Oregon and Pure Michigan and California. And now we're working with more than 52 cities.
Wow.
It was like fire,
I can't help having this huge smile, and it just gives me such great pride. What does it also say, Yoel, about that we're open to travel, right? I mean, because this is Visit Tampa Bay, so we're all about tourism and travel, and I mean the numbers have been groundbreaking. So, what does this say about our tourism?
First of all, Florida is very sexy. I mean, in the world, I live in Florida. So I'm a Florida lover. I always fight with everybody. I'm from Chile, but I'm very Florida lover. When you travel, for example, events in Europe or here in the US, it's known that Florida is a leading tourism state, right? So whatever happens in Florida kind of gets replicated, right? And that's what opens the doors. Florida is doing that, getting the most of travelers, especially when what happened in COVID, right? And then it became number one, right? So, and the energy here is very open. Whenever we work with any DMO in Florida, it's let's do it. It's a force of doing things, of creating, of going for it. Very little bureaucracy, in my opinion. Just let's do it.
Isn't that great to
hear? There's
the
money, there's the desire,
Because it's the people, it's the people that matter. It's the people, not the paperwork.
Right. I mean, the thing that I also love coming from a country in South America is some of these organizations, right? They work with taxes, right? With public money, and they're super strict in how the money is spent, and a proof of performance. So they really are pushing for the money well spent and the projects really make impact. So Tampa, again, is doing great work. They're super excited about this program, and they're also mean it, right? It's not only, this is, this is the thing now, so let's do the current thing. They really want to invest in this, and they're really looking into it, and they're really pushing for the partners. And you can see with there's a genuine desire.
Yes.
And when there's just like let's support the current thing.
So with the businesses, so how does it work? Do the businesses sign up for your website, or Visit Tampa Bay, of course,
Yes.
encourage their partners?
Yes. So basically, Visit Tampa Bay, we will agree with them, let's start with this program that it will continue expanding, hopefully. And they're like, okay, let's do the first batch will be like 100 businesses. So then in that 100 businesses, we decide together, maybe which hotels would be first, or what restaurants, depending of whatever the city needs. Or sometimes they are like, Will the World, you are the experts, you choose which partners will make sense first. And of course, we want to highlight the classical, the highlights of the destination, right? So once we have that list, the list of partners, we trained local mappers, the same way you have like Instacart shoppers or Postmates shoppers.
Yes.
We have Will the World mappers.
Wow.
So we train them local mappers, or we have our own like fly out SWAT mappers, we call them. They're like super experts, and they go and they do it fast. And they wake up in the morning and they go to this hotel. We have the connection with the hotel. They want to be part of the program. These partners don't need to pay. Everything is prepaid by the city. They just need to say, yes, no problem, come.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, like
That's
I have
great.
the ADA rooms here to show you. And then the mappers goes in, take pictures, measurements, have the pool, restaurant, if it's a property, if it's an attraction, the whole thing, the bathrooms, everything, like everything. And that data in the app is sent to Will the World. That's a accessibility map, we call it. And that gets developed into a beautiful listing like an Airbnb, but you see the pictures about the accessibility and the measurements. And if it's an actual rolling shower and not a rolling shower with a step, the travelers can see the information. And then all of those partners and businesses receive an insight report. We tell them, listen, no judgment. We are not into the force or, lawsuits, nothing like that. It's all inspiration, make it cool, Will the World, it's a nice to have, cool to have. We're like, these are the things you're doing great. Again, we don't grade accessibility, right? Because every disability is different. So we're saying, listen, this could change and would be better. And we're not talking about renovating your property, right? Sometimes it's like, for example, if you go to a bathroom, and you have the handheld shower in an accessible room, sometimes they set it up all the way to the top, right? So the person will reach it. So if you set it up at the bottom, that's already more accessible.
Yes.
Right. Or you put usually the trash bin in the middle of the elevators where the button is, right?
Right.
So people can reach it. So there's many
simple
things you can become
do.
more accessible. So it's not crazy. It's not. And some partners are like, oh, what about the liabilities? Well, listen, because we showcase the information and make it visible, we remove the liability, because the person, if something is not accessible for them, they will know and they will never show up there, right? That's also kind of what we do. And then after we do that, we send those insight reports to those partners. And then we also give them access to our Will the World Academy, which is a e-learning platform, very simple videos for staff, for anybody to get trained about accessible travel, disabilities, the future of hospitality, all of that. And last but not least, we give the DMO, the tourism office, in their own website, a booking platform so people can find this in the city's website.
Fantastic.
And then book it, right?
That's fantastic.
Then also we do all the marketing if they need, and how to reach these people, and we do the videos, and we do amazing content. And that's why it's a plug and play solution. Sometimes the tourism offices don't have big teams. And so we are like, it's a plug and play solution. This is it. And we take care from it from A to Z.
That is wonderful. So for the consumer, and you said, 2/3 of the people in the world, either one-third is
one-third
disabled,
right.
but or could
that's a 1 billion people directly connected with them, family and friends.
Right. So that's 2/3, right, of the entire population.
It's great. There's a disability advocate. She's amazing, and she's in a wheelchair, and she opens her lectures or her talks by saying, listen, I'm gonna go through a list, And if you have any relationship to what I'm going to say, stand up. And she's like, you have somebody in your direct family in a wheelchair.
Oh,
People stand up.
that-
You have, and they go through the list, and then by
the end of
bullet
the
point
list,
number 7, everybody's standing up.
Oh my gosh, I
And
can
then,
picture it.
Yeah, it's a really goosebumps. And then she's like, now sit down. If you haven't done some of these things, so she starts showing pictures of herself bungee jumping, skydiving, swimming with sharks, the whole thing, and everybody is sitting down. She's like, I have a disability, and I've done more things than all of you. So to prove the point that at the end of the day, it's about attitude, it's about desire, and it's about making things happen.
Absolutely, just like the founders did.
Right.
Lifelong friends, the car accident, but that did not let him, that did not stop him. So coming back to like the consumer, so for people out there who are watching, who are listening, the best way would be to reach out to you directly, or even like, for instance, Visit Tampa Bay.
Either or, right? If they go to Visit Tampa Bay.
So it'd be visittampabay.com.
Yeah.
And then for you, wheeltheworld.com.
Yes.
So either way they can go.
Either they can go, they get to us, are like, listen, I'm one of the businesses in Visit Tampa, and I would love to join the program. It's called Destination Verified. And then
Destination Verified.
I
love that. Destination Verified.
Right. So, and then we will contact them. They will open the door for us, and they will become a partner. They will receive their insights, their trainings, and we always have like a minimum standard at Wheel the World, right? What we really publish in the website. But even if a partner, doesn't make the cut, for example, it's like really super not accessible at all, right?
You guys will help them.
Exactly.
They
get the trainings and they get the insights, and then we follow up with them. And if they're making the changes, and then eventually we can, have them in there.
And then with the consumer, it makes it very, very easy with all the digital that you have in place to find the perfect place for you to go with your family and your loved ones.
Right. Exactly.
So where do you see it going, especially in Tampa?
Wheel the World, or
the partnership, Wheel the World. Where do you see us going? I think we're growing.
Yeah. So for us, our desire at Wheel the World, we say we are the next Airbnb. So our idea is to have all the businesses in Tampa mapped and trained, right? And really elevate the education and the consciousness around this, and have every business join, right? Every business join. Absolutely. Everybody, every hotel, everything. Because sometimes you go to an hotel and they can show you, only 1 out of the 6 rooms they have, right? Because, the guest occupancy and all of that. So we need to go back another day and then, have these 2 rooms. So it's work. So continue mapping the destination. It's going to be an ongoing thing, right? Because then, things changes, they do renovations. So the idea is to have this information being alive, right? So the goal is to continue working like long-term partnerships. And then we want to push, for example, you get your seal, but if you're super trained, you get a better seal. I don't know. It can go, we're a tech company, it can go many directions.
I'm confident we can get that, extra special seal.
Right.
How is Tampa doing? How do you feel we're
doing? Great. We have mapped so far around 40 businesses, around 25 hotels. And usually this city is very accessible. I mean, Florida in general is accessible. It's flat. We like big spaces, so there are a lot of, parking. And usually every business has, especially hotels after 1985 with new laws, they all have great accessibility. Like in average, sometimes we like to be very judgmental to ourselves, especially this country, but if you go to Europe or other places, the US is like light years ahead. And then especially Florida, we have found is very accessible. Even I would say, like, if you have minimum, information about the place, if you're going to, that's why people come here, by the way, seniors and people with disabilities, because they know, everything will be pretty much accessible, right? I know I'm going to be able to stay at the next hotel. I know restaurants they don't have 3 steps in the entrance.
That's a good feeling. We're so accessible and
there's already a knowledge about Florida, Tampa, again, being really accessible. So great weather, great food, right? I know you guys are working really hard on food and accommodation, really becoming like a highlight place to come. So, and it's working. So we get a lot of requests, and it's easy to come, right? It's many
yes.
options, the museums and everything is, and the partners are really open. They want to learn. Yes, come. They don't put any, blockages. No, I don't want to be part, or the liabilities. Not at all. Places are super accessible, but again, saying super accessible doesn't mean anything if you don't actually see what's going on there, right?
And didn't we
and,
say?
and that's what we want to do, right? One saying, we're really accessible. All of the things that I said. The other thing is like, I have this disability, and I have these requirements, and I want to go to that museum. Can they accommodate me, right? So that's the match we do.
And it's so wonderful that you do it. And, again, we're just so honored to be able, to also be recognized as a leader in accessible travel.
And this team has been great, really, like super welcoming, super like working together with us, involved. So the idea is to hopefully let's map the entire city.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much, for coming in all the way from Miami. Again, a driving force. I know it's a team.
Yes.
You're a driving force behind
It's a big team. Big effort team.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We are delighted and honored to continue the conversation on Disability Pride Month. And we welcome to Unlocking Tampa Bay, Dortresia Johnson from Tampa International Airport.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So tell us about your job and what you do at our amazing airport.
Okay. I am the guest experience manager. So I manage two departments that have interaction with the public. I manage our 230 volunteers.
Wow, that's incredible, right? Volunteers says a lot about this community.
Yes. And I also manage our lost and found department.
So, as we are talking this month specifically, we're talking about Disability Pride. American with Disabilities Act passed in 1990 by George W. Bush. What does that mean to you and the airport, Dortresia?
Okay, well, our culture at the airport is to help our guests access and navigate the airport more easily. We want to help all of our guests to have access freely to the airport. So we've created services and we offer services that can help our guests do this.
And, I have to say, what a beautiful symbol. We can start with this at the very beginning, and what a welcome with Phoebe.
Yes.
Tell people about Phoebe.
Okay, well, Phoebe is our very large flamingo that we have on our third floor in the main terminal. And Phoebe, when she was installed, we set a call out to the community that allowed the public to name her. And the name Phoebe won. And because in our culture at the airport, our planning and development team thought of our guests, thought of our disabled guests, and they installed raised bumpers around the feet of Phoebe, as well as the beak. And this is installed to allow our guests that may have mobility sticks to notice Phoebe.
Isn't that something? I mean, honestly, from that beautiful, I love Phoebe too. She's so warm and inviting.
She is.
But with everything throughout the airport, even the color hues, can you explain that to help with people who might be colorblind?
Yes. So the thinking went into including a color system throughout the airport to help with our wayfinding. We also name the elevators throughout our airport for those that are colorblind to help them navigate the airport easily.
Isn't that something that you've traveled a lot?
Yes.
Wouldn't you? I mean, just these two things alone right now, a lot of airports don't have systems this.
They don't. And I hate to be biased, but I am.
But we can be.
Yes, we can. We can be, because I'm representing Tampa International Airport. Tampa International is the best airport. They found a way to reduce our walking so that we don't take too many steps from ticketing to our gate. We have the color-coded system. We have the naming system. We've named our elevators and So TPA has really made it easier to
Travel.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and get around. And I have to say, this is not, I know, we, of course,
Mhm.
community pride, but
Yes.
nationally,
Mhm.
we consistently rank as number one or number
We do.
two
We do.
by
Always.
very credible sources.
Yes.
Also, internationally, we rank
Correct.
amongst the top 5.
Yes.
So planners really, I mean, had the foresight from
They
the
did.
very beginning
Yes.
to incorporate
Mhm.
easy travel.
Yes.
And then Tampa really took major steps by adopting a global and national program.
Mhm.
I mean, that brings a big smile to my face, too. Will you explain what this program is?
Yes, she's talking about the Sunflower Lanyard program. It is globally recognized, and it's a program that assists our guests that have hidden disabilities to gain a tool, which is the Sunflower Lanyard, as a visual cue that lets everyone at the airport know that you may need extra time. You may need extra help. You may need someone to explain something in more detail. And this program is recognized by our guest experience department, our police department, the TSA. All of our tenants at the airport know what this Sunflower Lanyard means.
Wow.
And
So there's
they're
been
able-
so there's been training
Yes,
on
correct.
recognizing
Yes.
the lanyard.
Mhm.
And you get the lanyard, you just go to guest experiences?
Correct. On the 3rd floor of the main terminal, the information center. And you just ask for the Sunflower Lanyard, no more questions asked.
And for people watching or listening, what could a hidden disability be?
It could be autism. It could be a brain injury, something that's not visible by the naked eye.
So the bottom line is, if a passenger, a visitor, tourist, local who's traveling, if they feel in their heart that,
Yes.
they have some apprehension,
Correct.
they're more than welcome.
Yes. And we won't go any more into it. We'll just give you the Sunflower Lanyard.
And this has been something that has been recently adopted. I mean, within the past couple of years, I believe.
Yes.
Have you found that people are embracing it?
They are. They are. Yes. When we first started, we actually took a tally of how many guests, and believe it or not, we had hundreds of people to ask for.
Wow.
Yes, we actually ran out of lanyards at one point, but we got them back.
You
Yes.
got them back. Wow.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
how do you let the globe know about everything that's offered at Tampa International Airport?
I'm going to say this throughout. Our website is a great resource, tampaairport.com.
And so hopefully also through shows, like
Yes,
Unlocking
this.
Unlocking Tampa Bay.
i.e. this show, yes.
We're also
Mhm.
getting the word out
Yes.
about how accessible
Correct.
we are here in Tampa.
Yes.
So Dortresia, let's delve into the accessible wheelchairs. Tampa International Airport is doing a lot.
Yes, yes. Even with our planning and development team, they're always thinking about the design of the airport, making it easier for our wheelchair or power chair guests, as well as thinking of even the type of flooring that they install at the airport.
Isn't that something? So with the
Yes.
flooring, is the flooring then throughout the entire airport?
Yes, yes.
And then, and I know we have a lot of people movers too.
We do. We do. We're always trying to reduce the walking from ticketing to the gate, just to lessen stress and just make it easier for our travelers.
And also, I think it's important to point out as well that so many people don't travel with wheelchairs, right?
Correct.
So the airport also offers wheelchairs.
We do. We have, you can go through your airline and let them know that you would like a wheelchair. We have those services, as well as sky caps that are there to assist you from and to the gate.
And this is at no extra charge,
No.
right? It's a service that is provided.
Correct.
And so with the wheelchairs, everything's accessible, right? From the
Yes.
the wider doors, or can
We
you
have
maybe
elevators. We have, we actually installed a whole new section called Blue Express. And this is reducing the walk from from your car to the airplane. And it also is considered, it also has elevators and escalators in this new section to make it easier for our travelers.
So with knowing too, more than 25 million people travel through Tampa International Airport yearly. And what is it? Something like 97 nonstop destinations.
Yes.
And that doesn't even include all the stops in between.
Yes. Thank you.
So from a tourism aspect, because we are Visit Tampa Bay, having such an accessible airport, what type of messaging are we sending globally?
We want to just welcome all to the Tampa Bay region in a friendly and helpful manner.
Don't you feel too, with easier accessible travel, that will encourage people to visit your city?
Yes. And especially with us being the biggest cheerleaders for Tampa International Airport, when people notice how easy it is to navigate, it takes the stress away from traveling. And they would want to come to Tampa International Airport and travel through it.
Dortresia, I love your story. So you have been working at the airport. It'll be 11 years strong, right, in the year of 2024. And your mother had such an influence on your decision. I love the personal side of these stories.
Yes.
Please share her story and how she worked with
I
disabled
will.
kids, right? Or
Yes. So my mother taught special education for 38.8, and she would kill me if I didn't say the 0.8, but 38.8 years. And before she retired, she took her students on a field trip of Miami International Airport. And she said that they went on a tour. They went to the fire station, and the girl was just talking. It just seemed like that would be something I wanted to do. So I actually applied. They didn't have any jobs at the time, but I did see a volunteer position. So
and
this is
that
full circle.
shows your heart.
Yes. So I went out for the volunteer position, volunteered for a couple of months, and a position as a guest services at the time. That's what we call them, a guest services rep. That position opened up. I applied, got it, and now I've come full circle.
And
so
you're
now
the
I
manager.
manage the volunteer program.
Isn't that incredible?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
so, and you also went to USF, right?
I did. Go Bulls. Yes.
And you moved to New York, and then you moved back to Tampa.
Correct. Yes.
So in your time and what you have seen, and as you've seen Tampa International grow, what are your personal insights and thoughts on the growth?
I love it. And we were discussing earlier how some other airports, not to put any other airport down, but some other airports, they have a dreary feel to it. It's not easily accessible. And I've seen Tampa International Airport change so much, and we're only getting better. It's light, it's sunny in Tampa International Airport, and I love that. And I love to see how we've gotten to this point.
And another thing that I feel, as we recognize Tampa and the airport bringing so much inclusivity, is also the local businesses that also have come into the airport, and the local businesses that also support like disability pride and all the programs. Is there anyone in particular that you could point out, or are there just too many?
It's just too many, but we're all on board for the same mission. And that's to
make it better,
to make it
right?
better, yes,
To make
yes,
continuously
yes.
make it better.
Correct.
One thing I just want to go back to, because we talked about the tours, like if some people are nervous to fly, or they're flying for the first time, or someone with a disability that is trepidates.
Yes.
You guys you have a program.
We have a tour for that. Yes.
Can you talk about that and how people sign up and what they do?
Yes, it's called TPA 360. It's done by our guest experience department in conjunction with TSA. So this tour is a comprehensive tour, and it's offered to those that have challenges, and the challenges can range to first-time flyer. Some people just get anxiety when flying, and this tour can include the ticketing and check-in process. We can go and take them through TSA screening. We can just do a regular tour of just how to navigate the airport. And we ask that we have 5 maximum participants. You give us a 48-hour notice, and this can be done as easy as going to our website and signing up.
You know, that, I mean, honestly, that also is wonderful, incredible, because Tampa International Airport is really leading the way for programs like this.
Yes. And not to go back in our conversation, but I want to highlight that TPA was the first airport in the U.S. to offer the Sunflower Lanyard program.
Isn't that something? Yes. So it started globally. It started globally,
yes,
as you said.
It
so
did.
The first airport.
Yes, in the U.S.
In the U.S. No, that, I mean, that says so much. And I know that Visit Tampa Bay we launched so many campaigns a couple of years ago, and we continuously grow, and it's wonderful to see it. Is there anything that you can share? I know you mentioned in something. Is there anything that we can look forward to within maybe this year coming up?
Ooh. Well, well, in a couple years, our new Airside D will be completed. So I'm sure we're going to install the same accessible programs and services in that airside as well. I did want to highlight that we have pet relief areas for our
I think that's so important.
Service animals and animals that are traveling. Yes, we have those throughout and at every airside.
So what exactly is, I mean, of course, with the words we can imagine, but can you describe those areas and what that means exactly?
Well, we have nice turf grassed areas so that our animals that are traveling can relieve themselves. We have bags that you can pick up, and these are nice sectioned off areas for you and your pet to enjoy.
Because so many of these pets, of course, are service animals.
Yes, correct.
Are service animals. Is there any particular story or something that you've seen at the airport that has just, stayed with you or touched your heart?
This was a hard question, and we've had so many experiences because helping our guests is so much of our DNA at TPA. But recently, this week, actually, I was going to my car, and I overhear 2 ladies saying, "Oh, I know I parked in the red section. I know I'm parked in the red section." And they were headed to long-term parking. So I interrupted and I was like, "Are you sure you parked in red, because red is in our short-term parking garage?" And she said, "No, I know it was long-term." So we all walked out to the long-term parking garage, and there she remembered where she parked. I believe it was the orange section, the Wright Brothers area. But I just told them I didn't want them to go to the wrong area. So that's why I had to interrupt, and they thanked me. But that's one in a million stories that I have to tell about the airport and helping. And if people see that we have our badge on, they're going to ask you a question and we're going to answer it. So that's the culture at Tampa International Airport, to help our travelers.
Doesn't it give you and you can clearly see because you're smiling as you share that story, such a sense of pride as, Tampa really showing leadership and recognizing this particular month.
Yes.
You talked about volunteers a lot too, for people who are watching or listening and thinking, "Gosh, I would love to do something like that." What would be the best way to reach out?
Going to our website, once again, everything is there, and going to the volunteer tab. And I would say complete an application, because that application puts you in my system so that I can contact you when I have orientations and trainings.
Wonderful. And, like earlier in the show, we talked to Wheel the World, and we have so many other influencers for that help, spread the messaging.
Mhm.
How do you think that relays with Tampa International Airport? Does it help build travel? Does it help build people
Yes.
coming in?
Yes, because they see a friendly face. Our website is easy to navigate as well as our airport. And yes, it just makes it easier. Yes, for people to participate.
And you just love walking into work.
Yes,
Walking
I
or
do.
flying the skies.
I do. I do.
Is there anything that you would like to add as we close out the conversation?
Well, I just I'm the biggest cheerleader for Tampa International Airport, and I wish everyone well on Disability Pride Month.
Thank you so
You're-
much.
you're welcome.
And we love your pins.
Yes, thank you.
We love your pins. We really truly here at Visit Tampa Bay are so honored to be recognized as a leader as we celebrate Disability Pride Month. And we could not do this without our partners. So if you're interested in partnering, please visit visitTampaBay.com. On behalf of President and CEO Santiago C. Carrata, I'm Serena Fazan, and you are watching Unlocking Tampa Bay.